sorry, Donovan. I'm going in.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll wait.
My wife just see if
Hold on, cause he got to get his. You got your view together for here too to make sure. Okay, good. But do I got his own? See, okay, good.
Okay, broadcast field. What's up with this shit? Maybe it's all these people in here. We got about 800 people.
Damn, really? For real?
Well, when I was inviting, I was mass selecting about 500 the first time, and I
really?
did 500 more people and 500 more people. And
yeah, bitch, if you don't get your ass up, I ain't even playing with you.
I gotta talk to my people.
Okay. That's so funny.
Brock left early to go out of town. You let that happen?
Hell yeah, no one got paid no overtime. Get out of here.
You know what, Ebony? Okay, we live. Did you? Okay.
Okay, did you? Oh shit. Gotta make sure she's in frame.
All right.
Girl, you on the couch. No, I'm just gonna talk to her live from right here. Welcome, Juicii. Got a lot of people to come in. Wow.
Hey y'all.
Wow. We're allowing the people to come in.
What Portia say? Whatever you like. I'm back, bitches.
Okay, good.
Wow, this is crazy.
Juicii is crazy. Yeah, we're still bringing them in.
How many people in right now?
Right now, we only got about 19 that are in right now, so we're gonna still allow them to come in. Here, so I can give you the aesthetic. Our new set.
Yeah, this is pretty. It's very pretty.
Got about 20 people in here now. Where we live at, Donovan? Inside of the Swank Girl Only group.
The event made inside the Swank Girl Only group for her.
Okay, good. Specifically for her. Okay, good. How many people in right now? Anybody else need to test? Did you invite Juicii in here so she can see?
I'm already in there.
All right, good. Okay, good. So you look good too. You're sipping tea. Because you about to drop tea.
Yes, sipping and spilling tea.
Okay, let everybody know that's here that we're going to, because we're sponsoring a free bundle, which gives a super swank bundle. You get shorts, jeans, the OG jeans, the belt loop, like that.
So, a winner from this live is going to get some swank bundle. Shorts, the OG jeans, belt loop, the ones with the belt loops, super swank belt loops, right?
Yeah.
And what else?
The super swank shorts, just a super swank bundle.
Or super swank bundle.
Yeah.
So you get all super swank items, which is just in time for the summer. This is about to be crazy.
It's about to be crazy.
It is.
I'm curious to know what you're gonna say too. So with that being said, this is the return moment, right? Everybody been asking where you been.
I've been thugging.
You been thugging?
Been thugging. Been at work, taking care of the boy, chilling. Just what I usually do. Even when I was at Swank.
It's but Swank did take up a lot of your time because before you left, like you were sampling everything.
Yeah, I feel like I played a very big role with Swank, and I mean I love doing it, but yeah, I was dedicated. I was ride or die for Swank.
Okay, so we can't give away what happened right now, but where should we start? Do you want to? Let's not talk about what happened. Right now, let's just talk about what you learned from. Yeah, tell me. Well, tell us all.
So, honestly, a lot of stuff. The whole situation kind of taught me a lot about people. I still stayed in touch with certain people that still work here, and some people I just naturally grew apart from. But I just learned that you gotta take people for who they show up as. I also had to do a lot of I want to say like recalibrating, because truth be told, I spend money like a drug dealer. So I'm like, I got it. This my paycheck is for, my bills, and then I got my swank money. I can do what I want. And then I had to be like, okay, girl, we gotta dial back. But in doing that, I was able to actually learn a lot more, get a little bit more, be more responsible. And then the day that it happened was the day that my doctor had called me, and she told me I was pre-diabetic. So I literally had to change the way I eat. I had to start working out, which the first, week I worked out, I hated it. Like, this man had me running up a hill. I wanted to fight every time, but it actually motivated me to actually take my health seriouser. And it helped me in the end. It really did. Like, I still have my moments where I will pig out, but I'm more conscious about everything that I take in and what I eat and what I drink, and that kind of, trickle down to Trenton. Like I said, I've been in the gym, as people know. I'm not a gym girl, but I will go to the gym. That's what I'm going to say. I'm gym savvy. Or
Okay,
I'm going to say that because I ain't trying to be a body, but I just want to, look good. Have lost weight. I think I'm down 15 pounds.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And my sugars haven't raised or anything like that, so my doctor's really happy with that. Has been maintaining that. It's been a lot that's been going on too. Like, it's just so much. It's a lot.
Man?
No.
Okay, good.
I am single. I am single and celibate. I've been celibate since February.
Oh, congratulations.
It's not a good thing.
That's not a good thing?
No.
Congratulations, because it can... So what you basically saying is that you've been healing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even with, without having, sex or whatever,
it really gave me, a more time to, I feel like it was a distraction, especially with the person that I was with. But once that stopped, I was able to focus on stuff that I knew I had to take care of. But once that stopped, everything just kind of started falling into place. I finally was able to find a house to move into. Work was going good. I was thinking about picking up a second job, but that went through the toilet because the place was very unprofessional, somewhat like here. Okay. But
okay, good.
But I was able to focus on myself more, learn more. I started doing Bible study. I have a therapist now. And that's my girl. What was it, a few weeks ago, I kind of scared her for a minute because I kind of crashed out a little bit. And then when I told her what I did, she was like, I want to start seeing you twice a week now. I was like, yeah, I think that's a good idea, because I was about to go to jail. No, he said he was going to put a PPO on me, but I'm like, you can't do that.
Okay, but you still hadn't had sex with him. Okay, you didn't let that spirit into your...
Nah.
Okay.
I was close a few times,
but
I was like,
no. You didn't do it.
No, I said, it's not going to work. But other than that, I just really been just chilling and enjoying I would say peace, but I got, 2 cats and a child, so.
Oh, you got 2 cats. So
yeah, I got a
Alice died.
So Cheshire is still there, and then we added Hatter.
Okay.
To the Wonderland household.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So you've been in the gym, you've been taking care of yourself, you have a therapist. Also, you said you looked at possibly getting a second job, but it was unprofessional, just like Swank. But how was the money at Swank? Let's talk about that.
The money was good. It was never really a problem with, my pay. Sometimes I felt like I just used Swank as a crutch to not really look into doing anything else also. So that was another thing that I was like, I got to start looking at what else I need to do outside of, now that I'm not with Swank anymore. And it was, I had ended up modeling for one other company, but I was like, I really never wanted to be a model. And everybody's like, you should. I was like, I like wearing clothes. I like looking pretty and taking pictures, but modeling seriously, that wouldn't be my end all be all. I love it, and I applaud the girls that do it, like Brittany and Tia. They do an amazing job with it, but I know I'm not as dedicated to it as they are. So I started, thinking about my podcast again, and I said that would have to be a hobby, because with podcasting, it doesn't generate income immediately. You would have to do live shows or have a Patreon or membership, stuff like that. So I said that would probably be a hobby. And then I started looking at other things as far as career wise, long term. So I came up with two things, and I said I'm still thinking about both of them. I haven't really decided 100% yet.
Okay.
Donovan.
So you the healing and all of that, getting basically sitting with yourself. That's kind of like where I've been with my life, is sitting with myself so I can hear things, because there can be a lot of distractions that will be around me, right? Let's talk about some of the drama, because before we get into one second, before we get into what happened, there was a lot of drama, and I've shared with you about, I didn't feed into any of it, but it was a lot of things going on and a lot of screenshots being sent around. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, because you never watched the video.
No.
So the thing is that I don't know what was being said, but I had that live when I told everyone I was no longer with Swank. It was up for about 2 months. I think I took it down around New Year's, and there was nothing negative. Anybody that was in that live can tell you the first thing I said was, do not go to the Swank page acting crazy like I'm good, I'm straight, I'm not upset. I still have a lot of respect and love for everybody over there, including Ebony. Those are my exact words. I never said, oh, go over there and spam their page. That's not what I do. I would never want nobody to do nothing like that, because at the end of the day, I felt like it would be weird on my end if I would go over there and, how can I put this? Say F you to a platform that gave me the spotlight. So I don't know who or why what screenshots is being shared, but if anybody was in the comments saying anything, that's them. I didn't tell anybody to say anything negative. I didn't tell anybody to, ride at dawn for me. But at the end of the day, if people felt like I was done wrong and it was an injustice, so they were screaming justice for Juicii.
Okay, justice for Juicii. Okay, good. So with that being said, yeah, you do have a following and a fan platform that really do mess with you.
Right.
In y'all words, not in my words would be different. But you have a platform that respects you, and that's part of the reason why people really want to see, like, what happened, what's going on, where my girl at, like, F all that, is she coming back or not? That's something that somebody said in their live today.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even give a F what happened, where's she at, and what's happening.
Yeah.
So what do you feel like you bring to the Swank platform?
This might ruffle some feathers, but I really don't care. I feel like I bring authenticity. Like, I came onto Swank because I posted a video about how y'all had me fucked up because one of y'all employees sold me a bodysuit and she said I could fit it and I couldn't. And I showed up as myself, and I don't know who I was talking to. I was like, I got dragged for a year straight when I first started with Swank. I got called everything but the name my mama and my daddy and God gave me. This one man even said, stop giving fat bees hope. And it's like, I got a lot of negative feedback for just showing up as myself. And that didn't stop me, because at the end of the day, it's like, it's more women that look like me than anybody else. So I felt like I brought authenticity, transparency, and I made it clear I'm not always put together. Sometimes I want to be cute, sometimes I don't even want to get out of bed. My house is not always clean. My child and my cats run my household, so it was more so just people can relate to me more. And that's what ultimately people want to see when they go on social media. They want to be able to relate to the person that influences them. Or that, they see trying on some clothes or trying out a place or whatever. I just bring more realness to Swank.
I can actually agree with that, because what the internet perceives or tries to get people to think is that everything is perfect. But
right.
That's one of the things that I've always respected about you, is that, like, don't try to change nothing. Don't change who you are. And we've had a lot of those conversations about, what can I say, like, encouraging, because what the people don't see is that people see the majority of the negative. But how many people have you actually came to you and said, you encourage me, you inspire me? Can we talk about that?
A lot of people. I think I had just posted um, something on Facebook about how black women we want to be loved without we want to be loved on without having to fall apart first, or you want to be able to not have to be so independent because of depending on someone in the past and they let you down. And it was a woman that came on there and she was telling me how she had been SA twice, but she still
Okay,
finds
SA.
it's
Oh, okay, I get it.
thank you,
Okay, I'm so
Donovan, because I'm
sorry.
about to say whisper to her.
My bad.
So, and she was telling me how, is she still had the courage through, through prayer and, being trying to stay positive to still want to be in love in a relationship and not give up on men. And she was like, I really appreciate you putting this out because a lot of people feel like you got to say, oh, I don't need a man, F him. If he ain't buy me a bag, I ain't messing with him. But it's like, I truly just want to be loved. I'm not, the stuff is extra, but it's like, I want to be loved. And when she said that, I even shared this with my little sister. I was telling her, I was like, this is the main reason why I say and I do what I do, because it's so many women that go through stuff that I've been through or somebody I know has been through. And sometimes you go on the internet and everything is just polished and aesthetically pleasing. There's nothing that shows that vulnerability or that point where you're just like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of my job. I'm stressed out. I'm overworked. The bills ain't matching the income, and everything is perfect on social media. Nobody is even showing up as who they are, and some people might be perfect, but then how do you align yourself with somebody like that? So that's what I just try to be, as authentic as possible. And sometimes it is good, sometimes it's bad. What
And,
is
and this is why they love you.
Hi, can you go sit down? Thank you.
And this is why they love you, because you're authentic and the different things that, because you can relate to the majority,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Yeah, we did some customer service calls the other day.
Oh
and,
God.
I don't know. We did some customer service calls. Rock was doing some surveys, and was a lot of mentions of Juicii. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when you left, my auntie called me and was like, "What happened with Juicii?" I'm like, "I didn't even know you ever knew anything, because I don't see much, right? I'm not. I post to social media because that's my job, but I don't really engage. But I'm like, so basically, the whole city was like, what happened with Juicii?
Yeah.
Okay.
People at my job were they like, I got so many people walking up to me saying, I only shopped there because I saw you in the clothes. And I ain't gonna lie, they was like, man, we gonna boycott Swank. We gonna go in there and knock all that over. I'm like, please don't do that. Please don't do that. Because we not gonna ensue a riot. Because at the end of the day, like I said, I made it very clear, I still have a lot of love and respect for some people there. Not all, some.
Okay, good, son. How does that make you feel to know that you have a following that follows you and feels you that heavy?
At first, it made me feel kind of like nervous because I'm like, dang, like everybody's watching me, and they are like, I mean, I know people are like, oh, I'm an influencer, but it's like when you actually have people that look to you and hang on to what you say, and they look at what you promote, and they go, support it. It's kind of scary because it's like, dang, I got this weight of my opinion could ultimately be good or bad, and people actually listen to me. I mean, I'm not really. It's kind of strange. It's good, but it's kind of also like bad in my sense, because I don't want nobody to actually. I don't want people to think that what I say is law. Like, I still want people to have freedom of their own, free will, and think for themselves. I give my input, and I post what I feel, but it's good and bad.
Okay, I can understand that. Was there ever a point where you thought that you would never come back to Swank, or was there? I mean, is that where we're at? Because we still don't really know, like, whatever we decide.
So ultimately, I that day I took it as a sign, because that morning I had went to Meyer and I was talking to a lady, and she knew me from social media, and she was like, well, what else do you do like outside of Swank? And I was like, I've been trying to figure out what I'm gonna do, other than that, because I had my podcast, but I ended up stopped doing that for a minute, and I've been trying to get back into the groove of it, but it hasn't really been clicking, and a lot of times I just don't have nothing to talk about for an hour. So, she was like, I think you should look into that. She's like, I feel like God is gonna point you where you need to go. And then that same day is when I got fired. So I was like, dang, now I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do. But ultimately, it's like, I don't know.
No, I understand. I can understand that because it can be because it's an emotional attachment.
Yeah.
Too.
But I ultimately said, I'm like, I don't want to come back because I felt like I needed to figure out what Juicii or Tiffany, what else she's good at. Like,
which one, Juicii or Tiffany? Which one?
Both,
Okay.
because I felt like Tiffany took a back burner to Juicii for the past 6 years when I was with Swank. It was always Juicii. And I mean, I didn't mind dedicating myself to Swank because I always thought it was for a good thing. It wasn't nothing. We had our moments, but ultimately the end goal was to promote body positivity and put out good clothes jeans for everyone. And that's what I wanted. That's what I stood 10 toes behind that. And I even tell people, like, I still wear Swank. I was still shopping for Swank even after I left. And I didn't have no bad blood, but I said I felt like for the personal relationship between Tiffany and Ebony to flourish, Juicii and the Swank lady would have to take a back seat.
Okay, good, Swank lady, because Tiffany. So everybody knows.
Mm-hmm.
Tiffany and Ebony is me and you outside of Swank.
Right.
Right. And where do you feel that? Because you sent me flowers for my birthday,
mm-hmm.
and we still let each other know that we loved each other. We just wasn't ready to be in the same space. Ebony.
I was. You wasn't.
Ebony and Tiffany.
I was waiting for a phone call, y'all, and I got blocked. I said, "Oh, I know you." And then I text her from Trip phone. She blocked that number too, y'all. I said, "Oh, she quick with it." I bet you Leia taught her how to block somebody quick.
Oh no, I think I just learned that over the years.
But then I had to tell her how to unblock me.
She had to
know how to block a bitch, but like, how do you unblock?
I'm like, wait a minute, Juicii, could you please tell me?
I'm walking her through how to unblock me. Pretty D.
Then also let you know that I ain't unblocking nobody.
Cause how?
So that just means imagine how many other people is blocked in there. She can't unblock.
Hello.
I have no intention.
Whoa.
Now that she knows she don't want to know.
Wait, hold on. Let me sip my tea.
You have a special place in my heart. 1 second. You've always been accused of being the favorite.
I am. I'll wear that badge of honor. I don't care.
Okay.
Me and Brittany are the favorites.
Okay.
Losers.
Were you mad at anybody or?
Yeah.
You want to talk about that?
It's just like I feel like Terry and Lana. I always knew our relationship was kind of strained towards leading up to everything, leading up to me getting fired, and I just felt like once everything hit the fan, Brock, Brittany, Tiara, Dre, Leia, all of them stayed in contact with me. We all talked. We hung out every now and then. But them two, I ain't hear nothing. So I was like, oh, they don't fuck with me. I don't fuck with them. And I left it at that. I mean, I don't have no hate in my heart. It's just I don't fuck with them. And I'm cool with that. We can key at work and all that. But after that, that's it. Like, I don't have no ill feeling towards nobody. I'm taking it for what it is. And we're going to leave it like that.
So just for context, when we talk about Brock, Leia, who's my daughter, Brittany, Dre, everybody that you mentioned are direct Swank. Because it's employees, love, like whatever, family.
Yeah, it's
right?
the Swank family, yeah.
Yeah. But just outside of that, you just didn't feel like were you looking for something from Terica and Nana?
Not really, because like I said, leading up to me leaving Swank, it was already kind of a rift between us. It was always something. And I just felt like, we don't have to be friends. Like, we can be cordial here and leave it at that. But it's like, I felt like I was being more supportive to them then they were being supportive to me outside of stuff like that. And I'ma always show up for people that I fuck with. Like that's a given. I support who I want to support. I encourage, I pour into, but that's just me naturally. I don't like being mean to them, but I really don't. I don't like not hanging out with people that I used to be cool with. Even to this day, me and my best friend still aren't cool. It still feels weird. When me and old boy went through what we went through, it still feels weird because these are people that I would call when something good would happen and we would, be excited. But it's just like I had to learn that you can't look for you in everybody else. And it's easier said than done, but yeah. Are you serious? What's up?
He say I'm gonna come on here today.
You want to go to Target?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll go to Target, okay?
I thought we was being.
We are. I just have to say that so he will just leave it alone.
But on the other side of that, let me jump on the other side of that for a second. So now what I do know is that you do pour into people, you are loyal. Mm-hmm. But what about the other side of that? Let's talk about when you're not so nice. And it's not being a mean girl thing.
No.
It's not that. But I'm not perfect and neither are you.
No, of course not. I never portrayed myself to be perfect. I just know that I'm nice until you show me I don't have to be. Whatever you give me, I'm going to give back to you. And I felt like I extended more grace to them than I did anybody else. Like I don't allow nobody to talk to me any kind of way. I don't argue with people. And I gave a lot of energy to that when the other side that I would have been violence. And I don't want to come off as the angry big black girl that's just mad and jealous, but it's just like I felt like I wasn't being true because I just kept going back and forth, and then we would just come back the following week and then would be like, but it's like, I don't know. So I just felt like, no, I'm not perfect, but I also didn't, how can I put this? I also did not show up as my full self each time I got into it with them. And a lot of times it will be a simple misunderstanding that could have been clarified and an apology or something like that could have fixed it. But if it's always me being the one that's got to be apologetic and be accountable, then it's like, okay, well, I'm not about to keep doing that. Like, no.
So they had nothing to do with what happened between me and you.
No, not at all.
It was what do you call it?
Nobody even knew until I said something. Like nobody. I'm the one that, what they call it, the whistleblower. Okay. I was the whistleblower. I put it out there. I told them. I don't know what happened after you blocked me. I don't know if you went and flew to the warehouse or you went home, but I know it was a Friday. It was Friday the 13th, come to think of it, right? Wow. And I'm not even superstitious, but I was like, But that day, like I said, I mean, I think everybody was still, people were still here. So it was only so much, feedback I can get. But later on that night, Brittany reached out to me and Tierra, and we talked for a minute, and, they tried to get an understanding. I'm like, I really don't know what's going on. Like, she blocked me. I can't even talk to her. So I had ended up going live, I think maybe an hour or two afterwards, and we was on our way to Target, come to think of it. And that's when I made the announcement. But like I said, I really was sincere about it because I didn't feel, my feelings was hurt. And I had called my mom, and she was like, well, what happened? I was like, I don't know. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, well, maybe it's just God telling me that you got to move on from this. You need to figure out something else because you've gotten too comfortable.
Okay. So that's going to take us into what happened.
Okay, so Friday is payday at Swank, okay? I send my invoices in Thursdays afternoons. I don't accept no requests on after Thursday from this lady. I need a video. Oh, you're going to have to be on next week invoice, ma'am. Sorry. So I send my invoice. Ebony's team, I'm going to put Ebony and her team, had downloaded a video from my page and posted it. I keep in mind they did it earlier that week. It had been up there for a week, so she had already got her plays. And it was a fire video too, so I can see why she chose it. I think the week prior that had happened, and then I got paid for one of those. But I guess she was like, girl, you milking it. Too much dip on your chip. And I'm like, okay. And was I in the mood? I probably was. I don't know. I think I text the assistant, and I said, well, if she doesn't want to pay me for that video, she's gonna have to take it down. Silence. Nothing else. No, the assistant said she would check with Ebony. Cool. I get on the call with my doctor, me and her chopping it up. That's when she started telling me everything. This lady calls me. While I'm on the phone with my doctor, she called me. I text her, says, give me a minute on the phone with my doctor. She reads the message. I get off the phone with my doctor. I call her, go straight to voicemail. Call her again, straight to voicemail. I think she dialing me out again. I text her. I said, I called you twice. Didn't say delivered. I said, So I go to the Swank page. Blocked. I said, I know you fucking lying. I said, Trey, bring me your phone. I text her. I said, Ebony, you blocked me? Red. Next thing you know, blocked. I said, oh, she's taking it there. Okay. So then I text the assistant. We're taking the videos down that ends your relationship with Swank. I said, oh. So I was like, okay.
Can I respond to that?
Yes,
okay,
ma'am.
Good. You just mentioned that the week prior, you charged me for a video, and I paid for it. And how many other videos did I probably have paid for prior to?
That was the first time I ever said anything about that, because I didn't know you never downloaded my videos. You always request stuff from me.
Oh, okay, good.
Do you have this? Do you have this? This being sent to you. I need a video for this, and this.
Right.
Keep a notepad.
Okay, good. Right. That's our relationship. Right.
That's our business. That's Juicii and Swank lady.
Juicii and Swank lady. Okay, good. So that's the business part of it. Right. So the day take it down. First of all, it's 6 million people on the internet that I can go. Well, let me just ask this, because somebody also asked me or thought that I get paid from Instagram for, like, do I monetize Instagram?
Y'all not monetized on Instagram?
No, we're not. You thought we were?
I don't see why y'all wouldn't be. Oh, you missing out on a check, baby.
It's just
Donovan.
He can get monetized, but we're not, because we're in a different type of relationship with Meta.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, because we're in a different relationship with Meta, we don't get paid for
Mark Zuckerberg, you being cheap. But okay, go ahead.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I won't even say what I want to say to Mark right now. Because I'm not going to. Okay. So, I got tea with
I can't say F you, Mark? Okay.
No, but I got tea with him. I got tea with Mark. However, back to this. There's 6 million people that I can go find, but when my girls have a video that I like, I use it. It's legal. They say don't even upload your stuff if you don't want nobody else to use it. True. So you got 79 million people that will use your video, but the one that you have that keeps a roof over all our heads, not necessarily.
Clock that T. Okay. Sorry.
You say no if I'm not paying for it, then take it down.
Right.
And then that's when it makes me feel a way.
Right.
Of like, where's the gratitude?
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Which we've already had that conversation.
Because and I told you, I said all you had to say was, "Dang, I ain't good for one." And any time you have came to me like that, I'm like, all right, you right, my bad. That's all you had to do is talk to me. Before we could even, I'm trying to process being pre-diabetic. I gotta lose weight, exercise, change my diet, and then I get fired. On my day off from my other job. Ain't that about nothing?
The crazy thing is, and I had a situation earlier today, and it's really hard being in this position, okay? But I'm thankful for what God has given me, is that just because you're having a day doesn't necessarily mean that other person isn't having a day. Because for me, and we're here to tell our story.
Right.
Everybody has their hands out for me. Consistently. It's not one person that doesn't look or expect things from me. And that's overwhelming.
Yeah.
So the relationship that Ebony and Tiffany has is like, we have to figure out how to be there for each other, and which we have.
Right.
And in that moment, I didn't feel that you were being there for me, because there's no telling what fires that I was putting out that day.
And I also remember I also said, had you let me call you back.
Yeah.
We could have. It's never been a well. I'm never that petty. Like, because at the end of the day, like I said, I've told plenty of people, Ebony has done a lot for me outside of working for Swank. And if I was to go down the list, y'all be like, well, damn. But it's something that somebody does, and she never expected nothing in return from me. And that's why I also said, when whatever the screenshots was in, I would be a lying ass, fake ass bitch if I said, oh, Swank ain't do nothing for me. That's a lie. I could never sit here and say that. So when I heard that people was trying to stir a pot that was never supposed to be on the stove, I'm like, that's not the message I put out. And at the end of the day, like I said, I understand it's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that I'm privy to even back then and now. But it's like, had you just said something to me, we could have been. This would have never happened. And then I also said that I had to stop feeling like I felt like maybe I was too entitled because we had the relationship outside of Swank. I'm like, she know me. I'm like, we like what? How's she gonna do that to me? And for a minute, I might have felt like I was bigger than the program, because I am. But, at the end of the day, it's also like I always thought we was better than that. And that's why I was like, well, damn, she can't even let me get off the phone with my doctor. I even called, well, I guess he was my man at the time, I can't remember. But I was like, I called him and he was like, damn, ain't that your girl? I was like, right? Like, how'd she do me like that? But it's like, I had to take a step back and be like, well, maybe, and we didn't talk for months. So I didn't, and to staff's defense, whoever knew something, they never told me anything. They were tight-lipped about it. And I can quote Brock, he said, that's not for me to tell you, Juicii. When she ready to talk to you, she will tell you. And I'm like, you tell everybody else business any other time. You don't want to tell nobody business this time? Ain't that some shit? You want to keep your mouth closed this time? The nerve, Brock. But it was, I'm glad we had the time apart, because like I said, a lot has changed with me for good. I've learned a lot, and it's just, I wish it didn't have to, we didn't have to separate the way we did, getting blocked and whatnot.
We are unblocked today.
Girl, police.
So
they are in the
they asking questions.
Yes, I'm annoyed, low key. This is not tea. Communication wasn't key. Y'all are so. Can we get there? Dang.
So what type of tea? Cause they say this low, this ain't no real tea. Well, they really wanted to know what happened.
Yeah, we getting there, but at the end of the day, it's like I said, I wish it didn't happen the way it did, but I had to learn, because I've been reading and learning discernment, that a lot of stuff has to happen, because I'm kind of hard-headed, and sometimes I do have to bump my head hard as hell to figure stuff out and see, like, okay, maybe I need to fix a few things, and I have, and I'm proud of the growth that I have, because I was like, I ain't going back to Swank. I'm not going back to Swank. And where am I at?
But let me just go back to them. Like, it was, so I don't know what people were expecting or people thought we did. Our relationship isn't like, oh, it's boom boom, like we try to hurt each other or something like that. It wasn't like that at all.
No, it wasn't. My
heart is too big.
I only stuck with it because so many times I wanted to quit, but the only reason I stuck around was because of you. I didn't want to be around all this stuff all the time. That stuff was draining. So
what's draining? Let's give them some tea, 'cause they want some. So go ahead and give them some.
Child, like I said, I don't fuck with your other two girls. Okay. I'm cool with everybody else but them two. Like, I can do without. And the only way I would even consider sitting on a couch with them if there was some boundaries set in place, because I just don't. And I'm pretty sure the feeling is mutual. They don't fuck with me, I don't fuck with them, and that's fine. We don't have to be butt buddies and braid each other's hair and whatnot, but we can still coexist in a workspace, and that's that.
I have a reply to that.
I'm listening, baby.
Because I believe that all three of you guys are very different. Mm-hmm. And when you guys get on the couch, it's like you guys start to take the conversations too personal, right? For Lana is very boisterous. but it's her personality. Maybe one would think that I would be just defending her, but it's like you gotta know Lana to know she don't mean no harm. Terica is very neutral, and she's gonna say shady shit all the time, but it's her personality. You are a realist. You're gonna say exactly what's on your mind, how you're feeling, and that's what makes the three good because each person is so different.
Right. And that works for the platform. But outside, and that's, I think, where everything spills over back into here because stuff, we would get into it and it wouldn't be here. Or maybe a little bit would be here and it would bubble over to when we out about together. I just don't know. And like I said, that's good for being here, but outside of that, I don't have a need to be around them. And it's like I said, I don't have no hate in my heart. I just don't want to be anywhere with them outside of this. Now, if we were at a function and it's all of us there and other people, I can mingle and, keep it cute. But other than that, no. It's a no for me yet. Sorry.
So outside of you, our conversation talk about you being fired. Like, that's no real tea there, right? It's just miscommunication, blah, blah, blah.
It is. And I don't know what y'all, it's tea, but it's not tea. Because at the end of the day, like I said, I think it's more so the way it was done and the lack of communication and it being 8 months later.
But it also blew up on social media, like.
Yeah, I ain't gonna hold you. That video got so many shares. That live, because somebody had replied to me and somebody had made a comment and I replied to it. And that video.
What's the comment? Say, like.
I can't remember.
Okay,
I can't.
I thought you probably
I'm gonna see can I find it. But when I say so, that live and that video got reshared so many times, like over 100,000 times.
You had my
Wow.
auntie calling my phone asking what happened with you. You had my
Hey,
cousins
auntie.
down the street asking who.
Juicii is that. I keep listen.
So what? So what was said in the video that made everybody share it? Because again, I never tuned in.
It was people. I ain't gonna lie. It was people that I didn't even knew I existed. K. Michelle, Prima Donna. I said.
What they say?
K. Michelle, she was like, she gave me some encouraging words in my DM, and then she followed me. Prima Donna was like, you're the main reason I even shop Swank. Didn't even know Prima Donna shop Swank. So, hey, Pri. And she said she wants me to, be one of her waist gang members.
Did you?
Yeah, I got to get a P.O. box. I told him, I'm in the middle of moving, Pri. I'm going to let you know when I get my address because I just didn't want it to send. But she's like, let me know ASAP. And, yeah, I got a lot. It was some people. And then one girl that used to work here a long, long time ago, she was like, and I don't know why I just took offense to this. She was like, it sounds so familiar. I was like, baby girl, you were not important here.
I didn't even know who you're talking about.
I'm trying to think. What was that girl's name? Oh.
She worked here?
She was a model.
Oh, okay. I don't
No, it's not. Oh, God. Hold on. Damn it, Gina.
You told it she had no relevance.
Yeah, because when I saw the comment, I was just looking like, girl, no, man, we are not the same. I was a main character. You was an understudy for Brittany.
Okay, I think I know who you're talking about.
Because, girl,
Yeah.
girl, you was an understudy for Brittany. You was a stunt double and a stand-in for Best of Brittany.
Okay.
You are not the main. Please, we are not the same. Please don't even try to equate this to that. Don't nobody even remember you from here, okay?
Don't nobody remember her.
I said, I know you. Girl, I delete that comment stuff. I beg to differ. I beg your finest pardon.
You said no, not her.
No, like, girl, you cannot. We not the same.
But aside that, what type of things that was going on live, like behind the scenes, that people didn't get a chance to see?
Oh, child, it was.
I had to have conversations with y'all in the parking lot, like all of that.
Because I feel like you said, there's different personalities, but also, Terica's gonna hump the fence regardless. She gonna be messy. She gonna take one side, then take the other side. Whatever. Anyways, but with Lana, I just felt like if I'm telling you that you made me feel this way, or I didn't like this, that, or other, and you fail to acknowledge it and apologize, that's where it's like the lack of accountability. I can't deal with it, because even if I feel like I'm not wrong, if Donovan or you were to tell me, well, you made me feel like this when you said this, that, and the other, it's not, well, I don't know what you want me to say. No, it's okay. That wasn't my intention. And I apologize if I made you feel. That's that simple. It takes zero energy or $0 to just apologize for making somebody feel a certain way. And I feel like if you can't do that as a grown woman, then no, I don't want nobody that lacks accountability. And it's not me trying to make anybody be the bad guy, but if I'm showing up here and people are saying stuff about me, people saying stuff about all three of us, but you say, oh, I'm always the bad guy. Well, I mean.
But I got one thing, and I got one request, because I mess with your family, I mess with your mama, especially I mess with your sister. I really want y'all to like drop that whole thing about the whole run-up situation. It really makes me nervous to even hear that.
Only person
I hate that.
My whole thing is, number one, is not my number one. My sisters are grown.
Let's say what we're talking about, so people don't
So, so my little sister Tia. Keep in mind, all my siblings and my cousins, my nieces, my aunties, coworkers, they watch the Swank live. So, even let's say if I did say something to my sister, if she watches the live and she sees the banter, and she might see something or hear something or catch something that I didn't, I can't get mad at them for feeling how they feel when it comes to me, because it's vice versa. If I peep something with somebody around them, I'ma check it. And my little sister, and crazy part, they're both Scorpios, but she's a November Scorpio. But my little sister don't play about me. So I don't know what she expects me to say. Oh, Tia, no, don't. If the way Tia's actually handling it is how I would usually handle things, I wouldn't argue, I wouldn't banter, I'd be ready to fight. And I know people say, oh, you're 35. I don't care. These hands still work. Like, it is what it is. I don't argue with females or males. I'm not doing that. It's either you gonna beat my ass or shut the fuck up. And since you can't beat my ass, shut the fuck up. That's what it is. That's been my motto since I was in 9th grade. So with the thing with Lana, when Tia would peep whatever Lana would say, she was tired of it. And she said, okay, well, when I see her, it's whatever. And my exact words were, I don't know what you want me to say to her to make her stop. That's a grown woman.
Well, Tia, I'm telling you, let's shut that down. That makes me nervous, Tia.
I mean,
That's my girl too, but Tia, let's not. I was disturbed when Lonnie brought it up again today. Like, no, that's done. We ain't bringing that up no more.
Well, I mean, they blocked me on social media, so they can't, and they, we blocked each other's numbers, so there was no way for us to be in contact. I don't want to be in contact with them, so it is what it is. But like I said, I'm not telling Tia to go out her way and this I'm not dropping a low or nothing like that. My sister feels the way she feels, and I can't say she's wrong for feeling that way, but at the same time, I'm not going to say that I'm going to stop her, because we're not around each other 24/7. We don't live together. We don't live in the same area. That girl is grown. I don't think she's going to go out her way to get Atlanta, and I don't think they'll probably ever be in the same space together. I mean, but if they are, then Lana, keep your head on the swivel.
I can't say. I'm not gonna say good. That makes me uncomfortable. But
I mean, I don't want. It shouldn't make you uncomfortable, Ebony, because at the end of the day, that's how it is. And I know a lot of times people say, oh, that's ghetto. No, that's how it is when you grow, when you have siblings that you don't play about. And I'm pretty sure if the shoe was on the other foot and there was a girl disrespecting her brother, she would do the same thing. So I get what you're saying, but I don't think it should make you uncomfortable, because at the end of the day, it's not like it's just, in my sister's eyes, unwarranted. I don't disagree with how my sister feels, because like I said, if I was the old Tiffany, I'll be on the same tip. It's not secret, but it is what it is. That's just how, it is.
Leah still loved you after me and you wasn't talking.
Cause she know her mama's crazy.
And she don't play about her mama.
And that's what I tell people. It was like, oh, Leia, I was like, at the end of the day, I don't expect Leia to not stand 10 toes behind her mama. Because if the shoe was on the other foot and it was my mom that had to let go of somebody that I was cool with, I would still stand behind my mama. I literally went in the store the other day and me and Trent went there and picked with her. Even though I couldn't buy nothing because they ain't had nothing in my size. We'll talk about that later.
Okay, good.
But,
So, as we wrap this up with the tea, are you open back to coming back to the live?
you know, I'm always open, but like I said, it would definitely have to be some boundaries set in place. I know, I know the streets miss me. I know they've been looking for me. They've been waiting. I would be open to, like I said, we just have to be some stuff set in place because I am not the same person I was last year.
Good.
I am still healing. God is still working on me. But with this version of me, or they call it the rebrand, I'm not taking nothing from nobody no more. I've put up with a lot, even after outside of Swank or whatever. So I just feel like I gotta protect me in the end. And like I said, even if I didn't come back, I still said, maybe the relationship with Ebony and Tiffany would thrive better if Juicii didn't work at Swank. And it is what it is. I'm not against trying. I just don't want it to be the same song like last year. Like I would literally cut the radio off, turn the TV off.
I definitely understand that. What does Swank mean to you now versus what it meant to you back then?
Ooh. Honestly, I'm still trying to see where Juicii and Swank, how we can rebuild our relationship. Because, I'm, like I said, I still shop there. I had videos and outfits. They was like, oh, where you get this and this from? And I'm like, well, I got the jacket for Swank and the bodysuit for Swank. And this one girl even told me, like, I would never they wouldn't get a shout out from me. I'm like, but 90% of my wardrobe is Swank. They have fire outfits. I can't lie and say, oh, they clothes trash. They got it from Alibaba. No. Ebony puts her time and energy into these jeans. I wear them. I actually have to get smaller sizes now.
Okay, good. Because my girl is healthy. You got yourself together.
I did. Juicii, this tea was very lukewarm, baby. Y'all so mean. I don't know what y'all want me to say. That's what happened. We had a discussion. We figured out what it was. She's crazy. Y'all knew that though. But it was just a communication thing in the end, and it wasn't like I went on a fuck Swank, tour. I didn't y'all know I didn't talk bad about them on social media. My feelings was hurt for about a month, and I got to see some people's true colors, and my life still had to go on. But I'm sorry if the tea is lukewarm. I brought tea from some warm tea to sip, but I don't know what y'all want me to say. That's what happened.
Did I treat you any type of way? Did I just tell them?
I did feel like when everything happened, I'm like, damn, she really don't fuck with me. She don't give a fuck about me. I was like, and I will overthink myself into a whole scenario. Like, I promise you, I thought the worst. I'm like, damn, she really don't. And then it didn't help that there was always outside people saying, oh, she don't really fuck with you like that. She tired of you and all this other stuff. And then when all this happened, I'm like, well, damn, is she really tired of me? I didn't even do that this time. We could have talked about it. And I think because everything went unanswered, I had to come up with my own scenarios. And because everybody all of a sudden in Swank want to be so tight-lipped and nobody wanted to tell nobody else's business in this mofo, nobody wanted to spill no tea, I had to come up with the conclusions on my own. Which is weird because all y'all gossip in here. We gossip. Nobody wanted to. Let me tell you why she mad. Nobody wanted to say nothing.
I never said it. I never told them anything.
Oh yeah, I was a whistleblower. And that's another thing. Nobody knew about me getting fired until I said I was fired. What am I saying? Terry thought it was a prank. I said, girl, no, it's not a prank. Why would I no. I mean, we did do that prank before when I got fired, but we didn't get that on camera, unfortunately. But it's not like, yeah, everybody was tight-lipped, and then the people that I found out knew still didn't want to spill the tea, but it's okay.
Okay, good. Okay, so I got one last thing. So we still have footage that I was very sensitive about putting up as it relates to Chicago. Um, why did that footage piss you off so bad?
Um, because I think that's where everything went downhill as far as Milan and Terry. I felt like nobody understood where I was coming from because at the end I ultimately just felt uncomfortable, and then on top of that I missed my sister's 30th with a 30 how old was that her for turning 30th birthday? No. Yeah, her 30th birthday, and to come to Chicago, and I'm like, damn, I could have stayed home, could have been with my child, and it was just like I don't know, I had fun in Chicago, but outside of working in that store, it was so miserable. I hated it.
Can you give them just a snippet of what happened?
Number one, it started with Terica recording me while I was sleeping because I snored and posting it on her story. And I said, why did you do that? And she thought it was so funny, just like these mofos back there laughing.
Cause she crazy. I never knew that happened.
Yes.
She has a reason.
So I was like, no. First of all, record yourself snoring and your wig sliding off. Do that. I was so pissed. So I was like, okay, whatever. Then I didn't like my hair, so I was a little self-conscious about that. And I'm like, oh my God. But, whatever. I made it work. Then when the whole situation with when Terica pulled that bull by letting unknown person come into the room while I'm getting out the shower.
A guy.
Yeah, and she like, oh, you tripping. I'm naked. I don't know this man. Why is he coming in? And then he was about to invite his friend up there. So when he went downstairs, I was like...
just to give some context to the story, we were on a pop-up shop tour, how we do, and Terica and Juicii were sharing a room, and then Terica's friend met us in Chicago,